Have you had any discussions in your travels about the threat of Russia? There's obviously been a lot of concern in that particular area about the drone incursions. Have you had any discussions about those sorts of issues?
Yes. It's all about, small countries, their entitlement to security. Might does not make right. Rules matter, and so we need to join with countries like these in the Nordic area to ensure that the things that we've stood for all these years mean something, and that we are prepared for change.
Do we need to be worried about Russia testing his missiles?
Well, that's a sort of the kind of blandishment threat that he started with when he went into Ukraine, and he's kept it up ever since. Is it a surprise? No, it's not.
Are we angry about it? Are we upset about it? Or do we just take note?
Well, we seriously take note, as will others.
Labor's capital gains tax looks like it's been a bit rushed out this morning. In fact, we were supposed to have Mr. Hipkins on this program, but he's failed to deliver, failed to show up this morning. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's been a disastrous 2 weeks. First of all, you had the so-called Future Fund, which was a direct steal from New Zealand First. Unfortunately, though, it was only 200 million from now until forever. Now, that's about 1/3 of this cost he's got with respect to free doctor's visits. If you take out under 13-year-olds, which are free now because of New Zealand First, then for the remainder, it means 600 million plus. And he's got no way of paying for it in the way he's put this limited capital gains tax out there. He's got residential, if it's not housing, for private families, and business sales. Now, the next question is, what if there's a loss? This is a one-way street. If there's a capital loss, does he intend to compensate that? No, he can't answer that question. So you can see that this whole thing was a disaster, and the way it was leaked, that means he's going to now have a 10:30 press conference in about 2.5 hours' time. It means that they're still probably trying to work out how it was all calculated. And in this calculation, there's also something that was said by the Minister previously of Health, and now their spokesperson, Hazel Bell. She said that it included 200 million that should have gone to the government, but has gone to the tobacco companies.
Yes.
Now, when your thinking is that perverse, the reason why the government is down 200 million on tobacco and cigarette taxes is that people are dramatically not smoking those anymore, and the government and Inland Revenue has lost 200 million. She's told you in this press statement, no, the government has given the 200 million to tobacco companies. Now, if you can't work that 101 stuff out, what on earth are they doing?
Yeah, they're doing a good job of spinning that one, you'd have to say. The other thing...
Yeah, because I'll tell you why. Because people like you aren't pulling her up and saying,
no, hang on.
How on earth are you making these calculations?
Hang on. Don't throw people like me in there. I'm different from the rest, you see. What about this?
Well, I hope so, and that's why I'm on your show.
What about the farms? Because they've come out and said, don't worry, the farm's exempt. But what about the property? You know, because it's property. Obviously that's the value of a farm. But they're talking about commercial property. Well, how's that different from a commercial farm?
Look, we're a country that can, and we will be successful, but the right people get their way, in attracting enormous investment in New Zealand. But we won't get it with these sorts of statements where people think, oh, hang on a minute, why would I go there? Why would I invest in New Zealand when they can't answer the question, why is New Zealand better and a safer place to go? These are the things that are very worrying in this announcement that they've made. And it was an absolute mess of an announcement.
Minister, I know you've got many more countries to visit on your journey. So
hang on a minute, I'm just getting started about how wrong this whole thing was.
All right, we'll go. You can have 30 seconds.
Well, my real point is, I know what's going to happen here. The Greens are going to want the whole thing to be massively comprehensive.
Yes.
Because I think money grows on trees. The party may be worse. And which way is it going to go? You see how uncomfortable this whole thing is? Now, we need better than that, because we need to see, across the political divide, signal a long-term plan to turn our country's fortunes around, and we can, but not this way.
You have previously said, Minister, that you would rule out working with Labor under Chris Hipkins. Given how vehemently you are opposed to this capital gains tax, will you rule out working with a Labor Party that endorses this policy?
Look, this is the very man alongside Jacinda Ardern, that ruled the whole capital gains concept out the first time. Can he make up his mind where he stands on which grounds he's going to be running this next campaign? Or is he sort of changing his policy every day or every hour?
To the question?
The question doesn't arise.
You're not,
Haven't you?
you're not considering them at all.
Well, you ask yourself this. He's got Te Pāti Māori and the Greens. And what an unholy mess it is. His job is to understand that they're letting somebody dramatically down. It's the New Zealand working man and woman. They've forgotten what these people mean and what they want and what their hopes and aspirations are. And we have not.
See, here's the one thing that worries me a little bit about you, Mr. Peters, about New Zealand First, is that this narrative about the Greens and Te Pāti Māori being so destructive for the country, if that was even a possibility, would you, if a Labour, Green, Te Pāti Māori proposition was a serious possibility, would you come in to cut their lunch and go with Labour to save us from them? You know what I'm saying?
I gave you the answer way back in 2021. Were you not listening? I hope I don't have to go through every week from here on in as we rise in the polls with that same boring, redundant
Yes,
question.
but it only applies to Hipkins. That's your caveat.
No, for goodness sake. Who else have they got? Come on, pray tell me.
Well, will you rule out everyone else then?
They're ruling themselves out every day when
Okay,
good
come
people
on.
like Parker, when people like David Parker,
Come on, Minister.
and they'll keep on going in a procession, they are really utterly scoured out of talent. You know that.